Welcome back, Truth Seeker. In this video, what I want to do is build on to the case I've already made that the Federal Reserve is controlled by the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And we're going to use today's story from April 4th, 2019, Donald Trump recommending Herman Cain to be on the Federal Reserve Board. Why today? So, here it is. Herman Cain, he's 73 years old. His birthday is December 13th, 1945. Getting a nice recommendation from number 45. And from his birthday to today is his 113th day of his age. 113, the number of the Scottish Rite. Don't forget, Trump is born June 14th, the 165th day of the year. Scottish Rite equals 165, like Scottish is 113. Signature numbers of the game. Also, keep in mind that Washington, D.C. is named after the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason George Washington. Donald Trump is the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. He announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. He hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day. Notice Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Secret Society, they're all 58. Hillary, she put out a book about why she lost the election called What Happened? What Happened equals 58. Freemasonry, a society for men. There still hasn't been a female president. Look at this. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry also carries a Gematria value of 143, and Federal Reserve equals 143. Today's news comes on April 4th, 2019, a date with 47 numerology, like the 47 degrees on the Masonic compass. Don't forget, Trump equals 47, so does president, so does White House, so does government, so does authority, so does Republican, so does Whig, so does Democrat, so does DC. Big letters in the Masonic land of Washington, D.C., where the Scottish Rite headquarters are, the House of the Temple. And also, let us not forget that when the Titanic sank, April 15th, 1912, down went three of the richest men in the world who were all opposed to the establishment of the Federal Reserve and who were all fighting its existence. From the day that they drowned and died to the date that the Federal Reserve was established was 617 days later, which is the 113th prime number. And what does Titanic equal? 113. Of course, the Titanic, along with its sister ship, the Olympic, which is actually what sank, was owned by J.P. Morgan. And why does that matter? Again, we just talked about this recently, but a little more review. The book, The Wreck of the Titan, also known as Futility, was written in 1898. It was about a boat, the biggest ever built, an ocean liner, named the Titan, setting sail and sinking the first time it sailed after hitting an iceberg while crossing from Europe to New York, crossing the Atlantic. The same story as the Titanic, and the name of the book is Titan. Now, what's interesting is the author of this book is Morgan Robertson, kind of like how J.P. Morgan owned the Titanic and the Olympic. The date the Titanic began to sink, April 14th, 1912, was a date with 49 numerology. Futility, the name of the book that foretold this future. Futility equals 49, so does iceberg. Scottish has the Gematria of 113 and 49. Washington's also 49, for the record. Again, George Washington, the Scottish Rite Freemason. The Gematria of that author, quite interesting. 119, like all-seeing eye, like what's on the dollar bill, which is full of Masonic symbolism. Star of David also equals 119, and the star pattern on the dollar bill has the Star of David in it as well. Star of Davids are commonly found in Masonic lodges, also known as the Seal of Solomon. Solomon's Temple is very important to the Masons from the Old Testament. And with regards to today, having the 47 date numerology, don't forget that the Federal Reserve was established December 23rd, 1913, and then they opened up their 12 expansion banks November 16th, 1914, which was exactly 47 weeks later. 47 weeks later. And banks equals 47. They couldn't have done it any more perfectly. So, I just did the video on the sinking of the Titanic about a week ago, and the power of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and you don't even have to wait a week later. You just get more evidence to back up what we already knew. And that's the way this knowledge is. Once you learn this code and you just observe, you see how day after day the evidence just builds more and more, like a growing mountain. Another point I could make is today is April 4th, 4/4. It's the anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Don't forget African American equals 44. Malcolm X killed on a date with 44 numerology. His assassin Thomas Hagen got 44 years in prison. Thomas Hagen equals 44, like shooting, like kill. And don't forget Obama, elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act, is number 44. He ran on hope. Hope equals 44. So there's absolutely something to a black male being nominated on this day as well. 4/4. All part of the twisted joke. If you haven't read my book yet, be sure to pick it up. Only $5, 800 pages. I guarantee you by the time you read the first 5 pages, you'll feel like you got your money's worth. Until next time.